Thank you all for joining us for our SICSS-Howard Mathematica Lunchtime Talk with Dr. Michael Miller from the Social Science Research Council. Today, you'll be discussing the Just Tech platform. During these chats while you chew, you'll meet interesting people or organizations that are doing cool and complementary work to what you're currently learning about in the Summer Institute at Howard. If you don't have your lunch yet, hit pause. For those of you with food and beverage in hand, let's get started.
Thanks, Nanette. And of course, thank you to Howard University, to Mathematica, and to SICSS for bringing me here. I'm excited to talk to everyone about the Just Tech platform and the Just Tech program. My name is Mike Miller, and today I'm going to talk about the Just Tech program and the Just Tech platform in particular. I direct the Just Tech program at Social Science Research Council, or SSRC. For those of you unfamiliar with our work, the SSRC is an independent nonprofit institution committed to mobilizing knowledge for the public good. For close to a century, and next year will be our centennial anniversary, the council has cultivated research about society's most pressing concerns, from climate change to life amid an emergent pandemic to the disparate and disproportionate harms of novel technology. In short, we are a support organization. Through grants, fellowships, workshops, media, and a variety of other resources like the platform I'll talk about today, the council offers support for researchers. The Just Tech program builds on this tradition of support for rigorous inquiry into the most pressing social problems of the day. And it's hard to imagine a greater challenge than ensuring that new technologies are designed equitably and sustainably, and that they serve just ends. From algorithms to AI, technology shapes the way we access the public sphere. It targets advertisements to citizens, voters, and children alike, determine who receives a loan or whose application rises to the top, and even attempt to predict who is most likely to commit a crime. All of which is to say that technology is neither neutral nor objective. And this is the point of departure for the Just Tech program. Technology are designed by humans. They inherit our biases, our prejudices, our assumptions, our blind spots, our flawed data sets, and our limited concepts. And technology, especially information and communication technology, are social tools. Social tools are never used outside of a social context. They interact with social structures like race, gender, class, disability, and many other markers of difference and hierarchy. And so technology may just as soon reinforce or augment inequity and injustice as they may mitigate against them. Just Tech is a program that intends to provide an intellectual counterweight to the kinds of techno-utopianism and techno-solutionism that predominate in the tech industry and in government, and in society more generally. And these kinds of techno-utopian, techno-solutionist perspectives uncritically assume that the answer to most of our problems are new technology. They often want to move fast and break things, as the famous Facebook mantra used to go, without considering what or whom gets broken in the process. Moreover, we at Just Tech, we recognize that the harms of technology are neither singular, nor are they borne equally by every member of society. In fact, technology may work very well for some, while being extremely harmful to others. And it's not uncommon that the first folks to ring the alarm about the downsides of technology, the harms of technology, are precisely those people for whom technology poses risks or threats or manifest harms, because technology was not designed with them in mind, or the tech was designed with them in mind, but not with them in the room, or with them in the room, but without an equal voice. And it should not be surprising then that it has been women, people of color, women of color in particular, folks with disabilities, folks who do not conform to the norm, who have been the first to say, this tech doesn't work as advertised, or worse, despite what you've heard, this tech is actually harmful. Moreover, many of the researchers doing the best work in this space come from disciplines that at times don't speak to each other: sociology, communication, computer science, library and information studies, and increasingly from communities of practice external to the academy. Today, those contributing critical research and analysis of the disparate and disproportionate harms of tech are also journalists, artists, activists, and tech workers themselves. And so given the interdisciplinary and intersector nature of the tech and justice research space, there are distinct risks of knowledge silos. How does Just Tech respond to these problems? Again, today I'm going to focus primarily on the Just Tech platform, but I want to note briefly that Just Tech is a program that has two pillars: the Just Tech platform and the Just Tech fellowship. The fellowship is a 2-year unrestricted award of $100,000 per year, meant to support luminary researchers from across disciplines and sectors, to give them the space and time necessary to ask big questions and to imagine and create alternative futures where tech serves public interests rather than the public serving tech's interests. These awards are supplemented by robust supplementary awards that are used to subsidize things like healthcare, dependent care, relocation if necessary, access to workspace, etc. We intend to gather cohorts that are purposefully designed to be intersector, which is to say that there will be researchers from the academy across disciplines. There will be researchers from outside of the academy. And we hope by putting together such epistemologically diverse cohorts, our fellows will be able to challenge each other, to inspire each other, and even hopefully collaborate with each other to build the kinds of impactful projects that we hope that they will. Finally, with all that we do, we want to center the perspectives of folks who have not often been represented well in tech and in conversations about tech and justice. In a few short weeks, I'm happy to say we will announce the first cohort of Just Tech Fellows. In fact, by the time we are on this call for a live Q&A, that announcement will have been made. So it'll be exciting to talk to you all about our fellows then. The Just Tech platform is the second pillar of the Just Tech program. The platform is another instance of the Council's Research Area Mapping Platform, or Research AMP. A few years ago, colleagues at SSRC built a public resource that some here may be familiar with called MediaWell, which uses tools like Zotero and Press Forward to aggregate, curate, distill, and archive research on what was then the burgeoning field of information disorder. In the year since MediaWell was launched, we've endeavored to turn this framework for research curation, translation, amplification, and archive into a modular plug-and-play tool, a platform that other organizations will soon be able to adopt and adapt for their own use. The Just Tech platform builds on this model and intends to aggregate, translate, and archive research at the intersection of tech and social justice. The platform will amplify research from a range of disciplines and practices and communicate it to broad audiences that may include journalists, funders, students, or researchers who lack subject expertise, but who want to understand the state of the research on a given topic. In everything we do, we're thinking about how to make research accessible to folks outside of a narrow research community or community of practice. Consistent again with the goals of the Just Tech program, the platform will center research and work of folks who have contributed so much to this field, but whose voices are often underrepresented and undervalued, not only within the academy, but within broader conversations about the role of tech in society. In so doing, we hope to bridge gaps in research networks that are necessarily interdisciplinary and intersector. Moreover, we hope that the platform will allow users to make these connections themselves, to zoom out from individual papers, books, or scholars, and to situate them within a larger conversation about tech and justice. Finally, we hope the platform will give researchers an opportunity not simply to trace the contours of a variegated field, but to project where the field needs to go next. Of course, this is an opportunity not simply for researchers, but also for journalists who need background for a story, for funders who want to know where to direct resources, for policymakers who want to know what the knowledge base is that underpins a legal or regulatory issue, or for students doing research for a term paper. So these are the two main components of the Just Tech program. With the fellowship, we're investing in the next generation of thought leaders in the field of tech and justice. And with the platform, we synthesize and communicate the base of knowledge in this field, showcasing the luminaries whose research and work continue to move the field forward, including soon the first cohort of Just Tech Fellows. This, in very broad strokes, is what we're trying to do. And now I'd like to show you how we intend to do it with a live demo of the Just Tech platform. So bear with me a moment while I switch my screen. Okay. This is the homepage for the Just Tech platform, and the platform features a variety of content types. And the home screen is organized around these content types. I'll say a little bit more about each in a moment, but at a glance, these include field reviews, which are effectively agenda setting literature reviews. The most recent three will be featured here at the top of the homepage. Articles, which are essays, interviews, occasionally a research note. The Just Tech network includes researcher and practitioner profiles of folks who we work closely with, either members of our advisory committees or folks who have written for the platform or reviewed a field review or served on a selection committee for one of the grants that we've distributed or for the Just Tech fellowship. Below that, you'll see field notes. These are curated third-party content relevant to users of the platform. And finally, a calendar of upcoming events. Again, these are curated list of events. Some of them, sometimes, if we have an event, we would feature it here too. But these are events from around the field that we think will be of interest to people in our network. You can navigate through the Just Tech website through this menu, and you'll see that, again, the site is organized according to content types. And all of the content on Just Tech sorted into one or more research field. These fields include the topics about which we think the Tech Justice Network is the most rich or most fruitful for further exploration. So we include here topics like carceral technology, labor and economy, law and ethics, movement and mobilization. Representations is basically about art and design. And here's the page where you can see fuller descriptions of what the different fields are. And I'll head into one to give you a look. So this is a page for a research field. And again, this page is organized according to content type. So you have field reviews that touch on the subject of law and ethics, articles, essays, interviews that touch on this subject, members of our network whose work focuses on law and ethics, and similarly field notes and citations that are focused on law and ethics in this case. I'll say much more about citations in a moment. I think one of the most important kinds of content on the Just Tech platform are field reviews. At launch a couple of months ago, we launched with 6 different field reviews. Again, these are peer-reviewed literature reviews on a discrete subject in the tech and justice space. Up until now, these have been commissioned, but in the future, we intend to invite submissions. Each of these field reviews is written by an expert and then reviewed by 2 additional experts. on the subject. This is done in an open review process where the author is aware of who is reviewing the piece and the reviewers are aware of who the author is. And we hope that at the very least, this means that reviewers will be a little bit more polite and constructive in their reviews, and at best, hopefully, that this puts people in contact who might not otherwise have been in contact with each other, and perhaps lead to collaborations down the road. Here's a review about race, access, and education. Basically, it's a critical review of the digital divide literature written by Roderick Crooks. If you scroll down through any one of our field reviews, you'll see that they are densely packed with hyperlinks. And those hyperlinks are all citations. So this review is not simply a review of the literature, but it's a map of the literature in a sense, because you can click through on any citation and go and read the title, the author, the date, read the abstract, and then if you're inclined, go to the original source if we have a URL for that, or you can look at the citation in our Zotero library, which is free to use. So this citation is housed here under platforms and infrastructure, the research field. You can also search for any of the field reviews and any of the citations in any of the field reviews that we published in a folder designated for that review. So this is the Zotero library for Roderick Crooks' field review on the digital divide literature. Similarly, Similarly, there's a folder for citations from any member of our network. So if you become a member of the Just Tech network, we usually ask people to share with us a few 3 to 5 citations that they think are really indicative of the work that they do and relevant for the Just Tech space. And we will include them here in a folder that's just from members of our network. To date, we have over 1,000 individual citations in our Zotero library. That is a library that is free to adapt and to use, adopt, and adapt for your own purposes. You can find the library from the home screen by visiting Citation Library, where here you can just search for individual citations by topic or by tag, or you can search here in the search bar. If you search for Rua Benjamin, she has a profile on her site, so that'll come up, but also anything that she cited in or any citations that we have in our library. The next kind of content that we include on the site are what we call articles. Again, these include essays, interviews, and occasionally a research note. Consistent with our aim of reaching and engaging with a broad audience, the essays are a short reflection on the relationship between technological development, inequity, and social justice. They're typically under 2,000 words, sometimes as few as 1,000 words, and we work closely with authors to ensure that they're written in accessible language. Interviews feature conversations between one of our team members and a member of the Just Tech network. And because the lived experience and personal histories of people in the Just Tech network are so intertwined with their work, it's critical for us not only to communicate their work and research, but also to humanize it. And this is, we think, the value of being able to interview folks, where really folks unpack a lot how they do their work and how they came to their work in the first place. This is an excellent interview with Desmond Patton that we were able to publish when we launched the site. Another exciting feature of the platform is our network. Every member of the Just Tech network has the option to create a researcher profile. Researcher profiles are rich entries that include pictures, bios, Twitter handles, personal websites, curated lists of member citations, which are linked to our Zotero library. I want to visit one that's as filled out as possible. And I know that Catherine Knight Steele's is. So here you see a member of our Just Tech Network, Catherine Knight Steele, name, titles. Catherine has written for us, so she's got the contributor tab here. And you can see this is the essay that she wrote for the Just Tech platform. These are publications that are included in our Zotero library, and they're all featured here on her page. And if she's included in an upcoming event that we've got hosted on the site, we'll link to it there as well. Next, field notes. Again, these are third-party content, a collection of new and noteworthy content from across the web, essays, editorials, scholarly articles, book reviews, news articles, and podcasts, things that that we think are going to be of interest to members of our network, including, for example, job opportunities. This is an upcoming job fair. Similarly, our calendar features content that, updated frequently when possible, in-person events, but often these days, these are virtual events. If a member of the Just Tech Network is featured in an event, then we're able to represent that at the bottom here. So you see just this afternoon at 1 p.m. Eastern time, the Disco Network had a panel full of several PIs from the Disco Network, some of whom are members of the Just Tech Network. So this, in a nutshell, is the Just Tech platform. We invite you, and I want to share another part of my screen because I want to give you the option to come back and visit us. Oh, please. Again, the Just Tech platform is a free-to-use resource. It is a curatorial resource. The thing that we are very proud of is that it's a space for researchers broadly understood. They include academics from the social sciences to the humanities to the computer sciences, but they also include researchers from outside of the academy. And we are working diligently to curate a body of knowledge at the intersection of tech and justice, and to represent it in a way that is accessible to as broad an audience as possible. In future, there will be more opportunities to join the Just Tech Network and to have your visage represented on the platform, and for us to link to citations that you may have. The easiest way to do that is to write for the Just Tech platform. Again, until now, all content that we've got published has been things that we commissioned, that we solicited from authors, but in the future, we intend to devise a way for folks to submit ideas to us, and we encourage you all to do that, whether that's a field review or a short essay. We would love to have it. So I invite you to visit just-tech.ssrc.org and to share feedback with us at just-tech at ssrc.org. So with that, I want to thank SICSS. I want to thank Howard University. I want to thank Mathematica, and of course, Nanette Coleman for having me here today. Thank you.
Thank you all for joining us. I know our participants are looking forward to live Q&A with you during the Institute in June. We look forward to seeing you then. Thank you all for watching. For more information on SICSS-Howard Mathematica, visit our website, Follow us on social media and join our email list.